Hello and welcome to this video, and we're looking to get a 10-minute game as black, rated game. Just wait a few moments for that to pop up. Alright, here we go. We're playing sergey2109 1757, and we're going to look to play a Sicilian. Our rating's still provisional. At a quick d4, so we're going to go into... Well, this is an unusual line. Normally when you get the d4, we get c3, and we get the... is it Smith-Morra Gambit? Anyway, we're going to take this tempo against the queen, because it's being offered. So, if we play d6, we're gonna get that pin active, so let's not run straight into that. I think knight f6 looks like it's coming with tempo, so we may as well play that in. Oh, it's not a tempo, of course, because the queen is actually looking at e4, but it's a useful move to play. He protects, and we can play bishop b4 here to threaten the ruination of white's pawn structure. And actually, I don't really see an obvious defense to that, so I guess white can play knight here, but I quite like that idea. I dare say this is not theory or even close to it, but let's give that a whirl. Actually, see how white wants to answer that. Because if he plays, something like the bishop move out, then we actually can maybe think about taking this. So he just says, forget about that. I'm not interested. So I'm actually going to go for that here, and we'll see what that's worth, if anything. I'm going to get castle now, and now I'm thinking about a6. Now this is potentially threatened here, so let's see what happens if a6 encouraged the capture, and then we could lose this. But aren't we just getting e4 after something like captures here? We're not just getting e4 back. So like bishop takes, d takes. If knight takes, then we're not just playing rook e8 and then there's too much pressure on e4. The question is, do we want to play b or b takes? Or I feel like b takes is a little bit more ambitious here. Looking to play e5. Yeah, I'm going to go for this move. Bishop c5 is possible, but so why not now just rook e8? Rook e8. He didn't actually. Yeah, I was thinking that he took this. Alright, so let's see. Let's just look at the knight capture first. Knight captures, queen takes, and after this move we just have queen takes c5. So what about just rook e8 now? Is there a better move to play? Can we play queen e7? Is that also good? At the moment there's no bishop c5, but maybe this is a little bit... We could actually think about h6, actually just stop the pin. Let's try this, because at the moment I still think that the knight capture is answered by rook e8. So let's stop bishop g5. And okay, so at the moment we can't play anything like this. Yeah, so at the moment we have a slight issue. We can't move our d pawn without... I think we'll just go rook e8 now and stop any knight e5s. Okay, so he's jumped into d6, which makes a lot of sense. And queen c7 is just going to result in doubling on the d file. So this is the issue for me, but we could think about this move. Queen c7, queen b6 is no good. Queen c7 looks nice, actually. Let's just give that a whirl. And I mean, he probably doubles, but then we can think about rook e6. We've also got rook b8. Oh, okay, just goes for the sack. That's interesting. So what have I missed there? What have I missed there? G. I mean, I don't think there's anything else, is there? We have to play g takes. Don't really get this. What am I missing? Bishop b6 isn't working. I mean, I think we just have to take this. It looks thin to me, to be honest. So the question is d5 now. E takes. This is just... d5 isn't working because the rook's on pre. You're trying to get your king across. Let's just play d6 now. That develops our bishop. Okay, c4. Bishop g4 is quite nice. Threatening to hack these pawns and then encouraging knight h5. I think that looks good. Let's go with that. So time is definitely a factor. This doesn't feel like there can possibly be enough here. Knight h4. We can always hack the knight off when it lands on this square. Is white trying to... Is this to get the queen back? To get the queen across? Okay, so queen here. That's the idea. So we're going to play queen. Alright, so we may want to put this here. We can actually gain a tempo on the bishop though, right? So let's try that now. Let's gain a tempo on the bishop. Try and force that back to a slightly less effective spot. And then we have moves like rook g8 at the necessary moment. Rook g8 looks like a decent move right now, actually. Rook g8, threatening moves like bishop h3. So I think that looks good here. Rook g8 threatens bishop h3. Okay, well then why not bishop h3 right now? Because that looks good to me. What's the idea here? We've actually also got rook b8 with tempo. Why wouldn't we want to play that? I think we would. Let's get rook b8 in as well with tempo. Get the half open file and then we're gonna... yeah. So now bishop here. Threatening mate on g2. Not mate, but a nasty check. We're going to encourage you to play g3. And then we withdraw the... Actually, g3... That does not lose the exchange. It looks like it loses the exchange. So what have you got other than that? Can't really believe you can let me take g2. Let's say, for example... okay, so I think we should take this. Let's grab this. We'll be very materialistic about this. I mean, he wants to play some sort of... And after g3, it's hard to get the queen across anyway, right? So, if knight takes, we have rook b1, pinning the knight. So why not? Let's play that king. Let's get that in, and this is just limit the movement of this knight. I mean, we can always re-sack here. We can sack rook for knight if it's getting hairy. I don't think white is going to be able to force through anything that okay, so let's queen here. Maybe we can play something like rook takes. Okay. Yeah, the knight is coming to d2 with tempo. Fine. What about this move then? After knight here. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I wanted to play this and after knight d2 just bring the rook back. I think we'll try that because I want to get my queen onto the light squares over here. These weakened light squares, which after white playing g. Okay, so well, we can actually do this now. After king takes. So white, what's white up to? Is he trying to play c3? Yeah, I'm gonna play queen g4. I'm not sure about queen g4. I'm not sure if it really does that much. c3, I'm going to just move the rook back, probably. Oh, gosh, I've just dropped this. Well, my idea was... Okay, my idea was rook takes My idea was rook takes here with the check here, and then we're getting h2. So let's go with that now, because actually there's no mate on this square. There's no mate. Okay, you just took that one. Wow. Okay. Fine. So, oh, you're checkmate. You're checking me here. So, okay. I can at the very least just sack here. I mean, let's do that. Let's take some pawns with check. I can't believe there's any mates here. Alright, so now let's try this, and then on h4 we're going king here. King g7. Queen h4, king g7. Queen, okay, so let's grab that and let's go there now. We're threatening queen f6 to trade everything off with a winning endgame. So, what's the answer to that? Yeah, that doesn't help because I'm going to trade everything anyway. So I think more interesting would have been what happens if I've got most of my pawns on white squares, which is good. So let's rook b8. We're trying to come and just take all these pawns on white squares. Rook b2 is the threat now. If bishop c1 to prevent that, I think I have rook. Maybe rook b5 looks good. Rook b5 and rook c4. Okay. Well, let's get this with not tempo, but I mean you can play g5 with check, but I mean honestly after king g6 these pawns aren't going anywhere. Okay, so let's just hack some pawns off with check. We could actually think this is not quite winning, but let's give ourselves the outside pass pawn, and then we might look to trade the rook for the bishop. Ah, okay, so let's interesting. Let's get a check in here. I don't know if that's useful, but okay, so oh, this is interesting. It's getting a little bit dicey after h6 check, but I don't think you have any way of pushing through. So let's rook here. Okay, you defend. But you've blocked your... oh dear, that's not right, is it? I've given up this one here. Okay. But h6, king g6. Now I'm thinking this pawn. Okay, you take that. So let's... interesting. Okay, let's sacrifice the a pawn for the g6, for the g5 pawn. Let's make that safe. Okay, let's run with this pawn then. And again. And then you've got bishop here. There are all sorts of sacks coming up now. I think I just want to play a2 and answer to any move. You can play bishop f6, but let's... so now I'm threatening this sacrifice. Now let's get this first. We've got rook h6 is interesting as well. I think rook h6 wins. Rook h6, if you take with the pawn I take here. And if not, we can... okay. Ha! Okay. Wow, that's bad. Let's get some checks in. king goes into the c file, I can make a queen. Okay, so now we're stopping the c. Can we make a queen and then check? Don't think we can. Misplayed this, so maybe I might have to take a draw here. I'm not sure I can see a way of stopping this. I misplayed this ending quite badly. Definitely had a win there. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Now I thought I could make a queen, because then I thought I could take. So queen, you take my queen, I take your queen, and you make a queen, and I get you with check. If you don't, then I. Okay, if you don't take. Oh gosh, I'm running out of time here. If you don't take my. So now I can. So you can't actually stop me, but I think it's still a draw because you have to come and take my pawn. Yeah, okay. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll just take a brief pause there. Okay, so just going to review the game briefly before we look at the opening. So this position here, I'm happy with black's position. I think maybe d takes c6 is a little bit safer, but this is more ambitious. I played h6 in this position and I got into some difficulties with the rook coming down, so maybe we need to play something like queen e7, and then if bishop to g5 we get to play queen e6 maybe, breaking the pin, and that looks at this d6 square a bit more. So then maybe, I mean even now I think maybe I can play queen e7 or queen c7 to stop the rook jumping straight in. What did we actually play? Rook e8. Yeah, I mean I played that because I wanted to protect the e-pawn, as I felt like it was actually finally under attack. But I think queen e7 does that job and also keeps the rook out here, so even if he doubles we do two things. I think queen e7 would be an improvement here. We got this position here where I attack this rook, and if I was in white's shoes I'd just double on the d file. This sacrifice here that he played, I just don't believe in it. I think it's nonsense. I don't think white gets nearly enough. So we'll just advance to a later stage in the game. So at this point here, I think black's like really significantly on top. I mean we're almost a rook ahead now. I played queen g4. My idea had been something like rook takes f3, then queen h3, but the queen is on that, so that doesn't work. And then I just missed that this queen was looking at d6. I think black's like really far ahead here. Let's just look at d5, e, d, c, d, knight. Yeah, maybe just something like simple like rook a1 to tickle the a pawn, or probably, or maybe rook g6 also looks like a reasonably useful move, just keeping things steady here. I don't think my move is like losing, but I think it's unnecessary here. Queen takes d6 was played. I then took this rook takes f1 with the idea of queen here check, and then and I was thinking I was winning the h pawn, but actually just king comes back to g2, and I don't think that is so great, so I'm not sure about this sacrifice. White just ignored it and played this move. Now, just thinking about this for a moment, I mean if I can just move the rook, then that's great. But I can't because queen h6 is mate. That was the issue. So one possible idea is rook g6. If I can get away with rook g6, then I may be able to get this rook out with nothing. So let's just have a look at this. If rook g6 check, you have to take on f7 because any other queen move is going to let the rook escape. So for example, queen takes c6 and the rook just leaves. So queen takes f7 looks forced, and then you play rook g7, again blocking the check with tempo. And do we have any more checks here? We don't really. We have queen here, but then queen takes, and again we get to remove this rook. So I think this would have worked. I think black's just completely winning here. As played, I sacrificed, I'd given up the rook and sacrificed on f2, but I just don't really see any need to do that. Is there anything better for me here? Well, like we said, I think rook g6 is good. It seems to work. After this rook sacrifice, king takes. We blocked with the queen. That gives up the e5 pawn. I mean, this mate is still threatened, so we have to do something about this. But there's no check. So if I play rook g6, I give up the f7 pawn. I think probably that was my thinking here. So queen to protect f7. You went for that check, which I don't think is good. I'd rather, in your shoes, I'd just take the e5 pawn, because I don't think this is dangerous for my king. And then we were able to swap everything off with this. And I think black's really comfortably winning this, but I let it get a bit out of hand. This is all fine. Just here, let's just see what's happening. We can take this with check, so that's good. King here. So what's white threatening? He's going to play g5 check. I just don't think there's a way to force these pawns through. You can get this, and then the king comes to g7. As soon as you play h6, the king will just block everything with king g6. And if you have to play g6 again, there's just takes. So this is really not dangerous. So I think in this position here, I would have been much better off. Oh, I did take that pawn. I think that's good. There's the check. King g7. King g5. And I just think, actually, the best move here is probably just rook e2. Because if the bishop moves, we get to take this pawn with check. And if king comes to protect this, my gut instinct says that we can... If we just take everything off on e2, king takes e2, a5... No, this king, then the king gets there. So, but okay, king protects. Then we can play a move like rook h2. Then you probably play h6. We then block this completely, and then we just shepherd the a pawn home. I think that's just winning. So I think that would have been a better line. As played, I put this check in, which doesn't really help me. In fact, just encourages the king to go to e5, and then once the e5 pawn falls, this gets very uncomfortable. So that's why I think rook here would have been much better. Let's just have a look at that. I don't think you can give me this pawn, so I think you have to go here. So maybe we don't need to even encourage this pawn to go there. Let's just go king here. Sorry, rook here. Let's try this. Check, king up. We can't sacrifice and take g5 because then the h pawn will run, but why not just... But now... Okay, so we'll try and do something here. Maybe bishop here is possible to stop a5 and hit the rook. The rook comes to this square probably. We could come and hassle the rook. Rook comes to here. Well, actually, probably rook just here. Now we can push through a5, and I just don't think white can make any progress here. Ah, that's not true. He can play this move, but as soon as you do this, this might be capturable. So, for example, if we take here, you push h7. Now we come... Oh, hang on. This rook's on prise. So let's just have a look at that. Rook a1. Here. We need to move the rook. So, rook... a2 check, king probably here. Now let's just see what happens if we take this, push h7, come here. You can take this, but then I'm going to take that, and I think this is comfortably winning. So I think this ending was fairly easily won for black, and I just let white get a bit too active here. So lots of silly, unnecessary rook moves caused by time pressure. We got the check, but again, it doesn't help me because the king wants to take this anyway. So I think better would have been something like rook, maybe rook b5, and then we can at least play a5, a4. Or rook a2 to play a5. And we need to get the a-pawn running, basically. This check doesn't help me. Rook h2 doesn't really help, because it encourages the king to go where it wants to go anywhere. Okay, defending. Now we sack the a-pawn in order to be able to take this, which was fine, I think. Although, I don't know if we're going to be winning that now, because the king's going to get to take this pawn. White king will take c6, which is what he did. So we run with the a-pawn. King takes 6, c6, a3, king here. Now this is the crucial moment. Can we play rook f2 to try and take this bishop now? Rook f2, let's just have a look at this. Rook f2, let's leave that to be sacrificed. Rook takes, here, 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 and we're going to win this one, so that we're quick enough there. So after rook f2, you have to move the bishop. So let's play bishop here with tempo. So we need to keep on. We can play this, trying to hit this. King here looks good to protect this and push this through. Maybe we can, but if then we maybe can just pin the rook in exchange. Let's try that. Let's push here. Takes, and we queen with check. So that also works. So yeah, I don't want to look up through every line, but most of these lines look winning, or at least close to winning. As played, we had this. This was nice because if g takes, king takes f6, and we queen, but he just pushed through. So now I can't play rook here to stop that, and the only way to stop the c-pawn is actually to run back. So that's the downside of this move. Maybe this is wrong then, because it's kind of nice, but this pawn isn't going anywhere anyway, so maybe we're just wasting time with this. Maybe we should just find a different move. Have we got time to play this? Let's look at this here. Make a queen. Trade. Here. You go here. Oops. Now we have to go like something like this. And actually we're going to be losing this one, aren't we, I think. Because you just go here. We're going to take this. And yeah, it's losing. Yeah. This is obviously a database. Okay, so in fact that doesn't work either. So maybe our line was okay. Takes h6. Lots of checks, and I was expecting it to just be perpetual here. As it was, white blocked this, which meant we got this check to take the queen, and then it's a draw because we've got this, and I'm sure this is f6 is a draw. King takes g5. These are all the draws. f5 is losing. Okay, this is a nice little feature, isn't it? Tells you all of the positions. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we'll just have a quick look at the opening then. So we had this move here. cd is obviously the main move. c3 is mostly played. Queen takes d4. You can see it's got a very good reputation for black here. It's basically just a poor move. Queen c6 is the main move. That's what we played. That's good. And here, queen a4. Very seldom played. Only one game. Winning for black. I mean, it makes sense. It just can't be good for white to give black this tempo and exchange a d-pawn for a c4 for a c-pawn and give black the tempo for not really any compensation. I mean, why would white be better in this position? So in this, the actual game here, which is Balashov, let's just see what happened there. Oops. So we had in this position g6 by black. Okay. Yeah, again this attack on the c6 knight. Bishop moves. This looks like a horrible kind of move, really, to play c3. If you have to play c3, something's gone wrong. Knight attacks the e4 pawn. Bishop g5. Castles. Knight f3. Hits the bishop. Bishop goes back. Queen b6. White's just wasted a move then if he was going to capture there. Bishop takes, I should think. Yeah, good. Bishop takes. Castles. a6 possibly to just clarify things here. Yeah, okay, that looks nice. What would I play here as black? I guess just play ambitious and play b takes. D takes is okay, but I think I prefer b takes, to be honest. Yeah, b takes, that's good. Queen b3. I mean, rook b8 looks good. Okay, black wants to keep pieces on. Okay, we won't look through the whole game, but in terms of black's opening play here, looks fine. Alright, thanks very much for watching.